He is merely a friend. How often do you hear women say this? How many times do guys overlook it just to discover out later that just a friend wasn't so innocent after all? Here's the truth most guys don't want to admit. Women don't always tell the whole story. Sometimes they say a man is just a friend, but deep down there's more going on. Maybe it's emotional, maybe it's physical, maybe she doesn't even realize it herself, or maybe she does. And if you're not paying attention, you could be walking straight into a situation where you're being played, manipulated, or even worse, wasting your time on a woman who doesn't truly respect you. So, in this video, we're breaking down the 7 warning signs that a woman's friend is actually a threat to your relationship. Because if she's saying one thing, but her actions tell a different story, you need to open your eyes before it's too late. Warning sign 1, her body language says, otherwise words can be deceiving. A woman might tell you, he's just a friend, but her body language that never lies. The human brain is wired to send signals beyond words, especially when it comes to attraction, and when a woman is downplaying her connection with another guy. Her subconscious behavior will betray her. Every time, here's what you need to watch for. First, notice how she reacts when she talks about him. Does she laugh a little too much? Does she light up in a way that seems different? Does she say his name with a certain warmth, a certain familiarity, as if he holds a place in her mind that's more than just friendly? Even if she brushes him off with words, her tone tells a deeper story. Now let's go a step further. What happens when she's around him? If you ever see them together, watch closely. Does she lean in when she talks to him? Does she playfully touch his arm? Does she angle her body toward him, even when she's supposed to be with you? Here's something interesting about human psychology. When we're attracted to someone, our bodies naturally mirror them. It's subconscious. If he scratches his chin and a few seconds later, she does too. If he leans forward and suddenly she follows, that's not an accident, that's a connection. Another dead giveaway, anxious energy. It's a huge red signal if she becomes defensive, fidgety, or starts over elaborating on why he's only a friend when you inquire about him. Here's the real test. Why does she feel the need to defend it if he's only a friend? If a woman is thinking about another man even when she is with you, it means that he is living in her head. No matter how much she denies it, the truth is in her actions. Women may be able to control their words, but their body language will always reveal what's really going on. Warning sign 2. Does she ever bring him up unexpectedly when you're with her, especially in an intimate moment? As if he were her boyfriend, she stands up for him. Let's face it, when a woman truly views a man as a friend, she treats him like a brother. It's casual fun, but there is no romantic tension, no hesitation, no deep emotional attachment, just a relaxed dynamic. However, if she defends him as though her life depended on it, you're dealing with something completely different. What I mean by this is that if you casually bring him up with a normal question, she immediately jumps to his defense, almost as if you're accusing her of something that isn't normal friendly. Consider this behavior. How do you know him, if you were to ask? When a woman has nothing to conceal, she will respond regularly and without strain, not a panic. There's no need to prove anything, but if she becomes agitated and begins to ramble on about why he's like a brother to me, or how he supported me in ways you don't understand, that's when you know, because that kind of reaction is emotional attachment. This is where it becomes even more clear, though, because if you ever show the least bit of concern for the guy, she instantly turns it around on you, saying things like, this is a classic deflection, which is what people do when they don't want to acknowledge what's actually happening. Because, let's be honest, if there was really nothing there, she wouldn't feel the need to get defensive. You're just insecure, which is why you're acting so jealous. I can't believe you don't trust me. Ask her if she would be okay with him getting a girlfriend tomorrow and starting to ignore you. Watch her face and her hesitation, because if a woman truly sees a man as just a friend, she won't care if he moves on or stops talking to her. But if the thought of him pulling away bothers her, she already knows the truth, and so do you. Warning sign 3. She talks about him a lot. Have you ever noticed how people naturally bring up topics they can't stop thinking about when someone is on your mind? Now, if a woman keeps saying he's just a friend, but his name keeps coming up, that's not just casual friendship, that's emotional weight. Here's what you need to watch out for. Does she bring him up in deep or personal conversations, or does she use him as an example or comparison when you're talking about relationships? Because if she keeps bringing up his name, even in passing, it indicates that he's taking up a lot of her thoughts. And if she's thinking about him that much, trust me, she's feeling something, even if she won't admit it. Now, let's talk about the subtle ways she does it. One of the biggest clues is when she shares inside jokes or memories about him, especially when she reminisces with a particular type of nostalgia. You can actually hear it in her voice, as though she's reliving a moment that was more important than she wants to admit another dead giveaway. She makes subtle comparisons between him and you, but if she ever says, "Oh, he always does this thing where he does, and I wish you'd do that like he does," you must realize that it is an emotional investment. If a woman and a guy are genuinely simply friends, she won't feel the need to bring him up in every conversation, but if he's constantly on her mind, it's because he occupies a specific emotional space in her. And the ultimate test is whether she gets excited when she talks about him. Observe her expression, her energy, and her reactions without even realizing it. Although words can be deceptive, the way she says them is what truly conveys the meaning. Warning sign 4. She prioritizes him over you. A woman will always make time for the things that are important to her. This is human nature, so if she consistently chooses to spend time with him, answers his calls immediately, or cancels plans with you for him, you have a serious problem because, let's face it, when a woman is truly into a man, she will make him feel like her top priority. Now, some women will argue that, but I've been friends with him for years. That doesn't matter, because friendships don't come before relationships, and if you're her man, you should come first. She constantly texts him, even when she's with you. If she's constantly on her phone, laughing at his messages while she's actually on a date with you, that's blatant disrespect. If she keeps saying, "I'm supposed to meet up with him, but we can hang out another day," guess what? She's demonstrating to you exactly where you stand in her life. When something goes wrong, she turns to him rather than you. This is one of the biggest signs of emotional closeness. A woman should never be that attached to another man when she's in a relationship, because at the end of the day, a woman chooses where she invests her energy, and if she's giving it to him too much, that means she's already emotionally invested, whether she admits it or not. Warning sign 5. When you finally decide to bring it up, you ask her directly, "Are you sure there's nothing going on with him?" And instead of calmly explaining, she snaps at you, asking why you even care. "He's just my friend," and she betrays you because you're jealous and makes you feel bad for even asking. "I'm shocked that you don't trust me." All of these are classic deflection tactics, because here's the thing: when someone has nothing to hide, they don't overreact. They answer questions normally, they reassure you. They make sure you feel secure. But if she immediately turns it into an argument, that's a sign she feels caught. Now let's go even deeper. Does she change the subject whenever he comes up? If she's truly just friends with him, she won't feel the need to avoid the conversation. But if she acts irritated every time you bring up his name, that's because she knows something isn't right. Another huge red flag: she refuses to set boundaries with him. If you ask her to put some distance between them, and she freaks out saying things like, "You're trying to control me. I can't just stop being his friend. Why should I have to change anything?" She's protecting that relationship for a reason, and that reason, it's because it's already crossed a line, whether she admits it or not. If a woman truly values and respects you, she will never make you question your place in her life. She won't be emotionally attached to another man. She won't be overly defensive. She won't make you feel like you're competing for her attention. She will prioritize you because the right woman. She doesn't play games. She doesn't keep backup options. And she damn sure doesn't let another man get so close that it makes you uncomfortable. So if you see these warning signs, don't ignore them. Don't convince yourself you're just being insecure, because deep down, you already know the truth. And as a man who knows his worth, you need to act accordingly. Either she chooses you completely or you walk away, because a man who respects himself never stays where he isn't fully valued.